yeah. Oh, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get up. With Garrett, we're live streaming right now on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. We're letting everyone get notified and join us today. So we hope you're having a wonderful morning. And today we have a special introduction from a very special lady.
Hey everybody, welcome to Wake Up with Garret. Get Up with Garret. I'm Garrett's daughter, Juliet. I just wanted to say that my dad has been working so hard to set up this podcast. He wants to share all of his fun work adventures. Garret won Most Talkative in high school one year. Please subscribe to his YouTube channel where you can watch this live. I love you, Dad, and good luck with your podcast. Thanks for listening to this little intro, everybody.
That's a hell of an intro.
Hey, I see you found that. You kept that. You did not delete that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's one for
It's
the vault.
special one. Yeah.
Hey, family's everything.
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you, Juliet. And I appreciate everybody joining us today. We are live on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. It's amazing how we can do all this in 2021, right?
Really utilizing all the technology.
Yes. Don't let any of that go to waste.
Yeah.
4G, 5G. So we appreciate everyone getting up with Garret this morning and spending some time with us. This is episode 5. And for those who don't know, I am a third generation entrepreneur in the commercial real estate family business. We own shopping centers, apartment complexes. We're into development as well. We're doing some self-storage. We also are the largest franchisee for a company called Salons by JC, which is an incredible women and minority owned business where people have an opportunity to step out and actually own their own beauty professional business. And just really love touring the country, meeting wonderful entrepreneurs and sharing their stories, their secret sauce, and helping up and coming entrepreneurs understand what is the secrets to success and how do we get there through the trials and tribulations. And today we are going to have a fabulous guest. Cindy Myer from Ridgewood Moving Services will be joining us a little bit later this morning, telling her story about how she took over a business that she did not start, that her husband was running, and how she jumped into a male-dominated industry as a woman and has run that beautifully for, I don't know, at least 20, I think around 20 years. So we will be with her in a little bit. Just wanted to, recap a couple of things. I'm sorry we missed you last week. It was Yom Kippur, so that's kind of the holiest day on the Jewish calendar. Nice. So we did skip the podcast that week, but we are back. We've got football picks. I can update you on how Doug and I did. I will tell you I did better. We'll talk about that at the end of the show. We'll talk a little Giants. We'll talk a little football. So hang on when we get through the interview with Cindy. We will pick up and talk a little bit football for week 3. Obviously, we just had 9/11, which was the 20-year anniversary. I know that touches everybody differently here, especially in the New York, New Jersey area. I was fortunate on 9/14. I got to go to the Freedom Tower. I had never been to a private event on the 102nd floor, looking out over New York City and the memorial, and my knees were literally shaking, kind of being at this event and thinking about what people have gone through. I do have a friend, dear friend from the Golden State Warriors. When I started, his dad was on Flight 93, actually. So I've kept in touch with him and always thinking about his family and what they went through, and all the families and the entire country. Also, just wanted to mention, we talk a lot about Ted Lasso.
Yes. And favorite show.
If you saw the Emmys, they did clean up nicely.
Cleaned up.
Ted Lasso was wearing the velvet blue tux, and he won. And Biscuits with the Boss, she won too. And a number of people won. Of course, they won for most outstanding comedy. Awesome. So, this is not just a recommendation about Ted Lasso. I mean, it's a pudding. It's a winner.
It's a winner.
We have a winner, folks. Yeah. We absolutely have a winner. So one of the things that I'm always really proud of sharing is, vulnerabilities and falling flat on my face. We've talked about the reverse resume. And I know I talk a lot about health and wellness on this podcast and how much I love Orange Theory. And so they had their little dry try event. I guess it was over a week ago now. And I was psyched for this. I really prepped for this. I worked hard for this. And I wanted to really kill it and crush it. And so it's meant to simulate kind of a mini triathlon. It's nothing like a real triathlon, I have to say. So this sprint version was 1,000-meter row, and then you do like 150 body weight exercises. So push-ups, burpees, step-ups, squats, things like that, bench hops. And then you do a 1.5 mile run. I thought I could have done this in about 20 to 22 minutes. Now, I killed the rower. My best rower time on 2,000 meters was like 6:53. So I did 1,000 meters at 3:13. So I was way ahead of my time. And then I did the bench hops and all those other body weights. When I was done with that, it was only 7 minutes. I kid you not. I got on the treadmill. I could not breathe. I started walking and I thought, oh, maybe it'll be for a minute. Didn't go away. I'm coughing, can barely breathe. I'm coughing in the towel. Am I going to throw up? Am I going to throw up a lung?
Wow.
What in the hell is going on with me? I've been working out. I mean, I'm in good shape, right? This is Get Up with Garret. I'm up early every day. So ended up, I mean, I literally walked about half of it. Finally, I started to kind of jog at like 5 miles an hour, and I got to like 6.4. I should be running at 8 miles an hour on this thing, 9 miles an hour.
Nice.
And I ended up finishing that. I think I was around first or second place from the rower, and I ended up like in last place. It took me 27 minutes to do the whole thing. So 1.5 miles at 20 minutes is very long for me personally. And I think I ran out of gas on that rower and started too hard and didn't pace myself. But I was proud of myself for not giving up. I definitely could have quit. I could have got off the treadmill and said, hey guys, I'm coughing up a lung. I'm out of here. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to walk until it feels better. And it felt a little better towards the end, but it never felt good at all.
I bet.
So I just wanted to share that. No matter what shape you're in, no matter how you prepared, you never know what it's going to throw you. And, don't ever give up. Keep going at it. And if it means you have to walk, don't be embarrassed. And I walked out of there, and I was definitely embarrassed, but a bunch of my friends were supporting me and texting me saying, look, you at least got out of bed. You went for it. You tried, and you're not always going to hit the numbers every time. And I just wanted to share that vulnerability story.
Nice.
I think that's important.
We do have a clip. Do you want to roll that clip?
Oh, it's horrible. Sure. You can show it.
It's
not good.
All right.
Go ahead.
Here we go.
You can show it. Yeah,
that's the walk. That looks pretty fast for a walk.
That's pretty slow. Yeah.
Okay, no, that's a little bit faster than a walk.
Okay, it should be about
four
times faster.
That was a light jog.
I mean, I literally started that thing telling my friends, I'm going to win this thing, and I had game face on.
Yeah.
And game face turned into gag face pretty quick. So always prepare. And I guess a sprint, it's a marathon, a sprint. These things are different, right? And in business, you don't want to run out of gas in the first inning of a development in a project.
Absolutely.
You want to take your time, and you want to remember to breathe. I think I forgot to breathe.
Yeah.
So that was that. I also wanted to talk about something. I don't have a graphic for it. There's been a number of stories going around in LA about this incredible house that was developed as a spec house called The One. I don't know if you heard about it. You can see it on different YouTube channels and different media outlets. And it was a developer who was a luxury developer and decided to build the biggest, baddest, best, most expensive house in LA. And I found this thing, someone sent it to me, and I watched, and I was like, wow, this is so over the top. It's got a nightclub, and it's got all these crazy things. And he kept saying, this house is worth $500 million, right? $500 million. And this house is it's for the community. And we're going to, God told me to do this. And we're going to have pay-per-view events here. And the money's going to go to help support the community. And I watched this and I was like, this is nuts. Well, it's turned out that this, was somewhat of a fraud, that this is now in receivership. This is in foreclosure. And it's not worth anywhere near the numbers he said it was worth. Wow. He's now jumped from bank to bank to bank, ripping off investors, ripping off banks left and right. And it bothers me because there's a group of success credentialed families out there, that are conservative over time, that are not overspending their bounds, that are doing the right thing, right? And that's where wealth generation and where success comes. And that's where I want to speak from the concept of, you don't have to be this flashy guy on YouTube. And he totally misled the subscribers, the viewers, the watchers. And you can look back at some of the old videos of this house tour, and it's just, he wasn't organic about that. We have a problem here. And when someone starts saying the words like, I hope for it and I pray for it, that's fine in your personal life, but hope is not a business plan, Dougie.
Wow.
Put it on a t-shirt, Jessica. Hope is not a business plan. Okay. It's just not.
True.
If you're an investor, if you're a lender, if someone is trying to pitch you to be part of this deal and someone says to you, I hope, you get up and you walk out of that room right away. Hope is not a business plan. Don't forget it. That's something that you learned today on the Get Up with Garret podcast. So I want to share that.
Take that to the bank.
Absolutely.
And real quick, I want to remind everybody, we are live. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can put them in the comments section and we can bring them and interact with you live today. Jen says Ted is the best, going back to before. So just a little example.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. So yeah, we want to make this interactive as possible and have a good time with you.
And by the way, somebody emailed me or texted me. I forget now.
There you go too.
We have an email address. We have a text. We
there
have all
it
this
is.
stuff. So
Get Up with Garret.
Someone named Jeanette reached out to me and said she enjoyed the book that I recommended called Get Up and Make Your Bed. Make Your Bed Every Day. That was on I think the first or second episode. And Jeanette told me she went out and bought it, read it, and really enjoyed it. And so I will have another good book recommendation for Jeanette and anyone else who's watching next week. I've already got it in my head, the one I want to bring in and show off.
Awesome.
All right. So we'll save that. We'll save that for next week.
Absolutely.
Quickly talking about other entrepreneurs who, are really living it, their dream. Going back to the Salons by JC concept, Dougie, do you have the video from the haircut?
I do.
I saw this video. I just wanted to share this. One of our stylists in our Paramus location, Mia, who has a company called Renegade Hair. Shout out to Mia if she's watching. She posted this. I thought it was great.
Check, yes, Juliet, are you with me? Rain is falling down.
How do you feel?
Yeah,
Yes.
I feel like a new man.
That's right. Let me get a high
I feel
five.
wonderful.
Woo!
I feel great. I feel light.
Tell
I
everybody.
feel fresh.
Tell them.
I feel like I've been renegade.
Okay.
I've been renegade. What did it say? Renegade?
Renegade-eyed.
Renegade-eyed.
I didn't know that was a word, but
It's
it
a
is
new-
today.
Learning something new every day.
Yeah.
And then I think before we get to Cindy, I just wanted to give everyone a follow up, I think, on the Hawthorne project.
Yes.
So a couple exciting things. We actually have a name for the project.
Ooh.
Yes. And the name of the project is.
Let's
What?
settle
You wanna
first.
wait? Okay.
Yeah. Big
Yes.
reveal. We gotta show
Sorry.
them first.
Hold on. First, let's do an update on where we are.
Yeah. Don't reveal the best thing first.
We
You
are
gotta leave
live.
them wanting more.
We are live. So we can see this video. This is playing.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are rocking and rolling. We have a lot of steel that's been dropped off on the property. And you can see in a second or two, the self-storage building is really taking shape. We've got the elevator shaft right there.
Wow.
Yeah, look at that sucker. All the way, and then you've got some steel that's actually up. It's kind of hard to see, but there is steel up. So we are moving around, having
Coors
lots
Light's
of fun.
there too, nice.
Coors Light, if you need a drink during the project, no problem. There's the other staircase on that side. And, I think if you see in the next week or two, as I bring in more updates from drone videos, it's just going to really grow quickly. It's going to go fast.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna go fast. And this weekend is Hawthorne Days. Right across the street from the property is the big town-wide Hawthorne, New Jersey celebration. I think it's from noon until fireworks at night. Come on out, bring the kids. There's tons of food trucks. There's bands, magicians, face painting, stuff like that. Activities for kids. All the different businesses in Hawthorne will be having tables and talking about their businesses. So
awesome.
Can I now announce the name? Now
you can do the big reveal.
Okay. So we have decided to go with the name Hedges at Hawthorne. And I'm going to lift this up, Doug, right? Is that what you like me to do? So this is a little promo card that we've made. Let's see if Doug can zoom in on that. You're in? I can move my hand, right? Should I show you the other side?
Beautiful, yeah.
Okay, it's a very, very bold, kind of in-your-face brand. New luxury rentals coming soon, obviously. So the reason why we chose this name is because to us, that the Hedges sounds like a place to be. It's a kind of velvet rope, VIP, members only. If you think about the Hedge of out in the Hamptons, kind of the beautiful landscaping, it's visually gorgeous to look at, but it kind of creates this feeling of what's going on there. That's a place I want to be. And so we are excited to launch that brand. You'll start seeing some banners up at the site, and we have these cards made up for Hawthorne Day, and just very, very thrilled with working with this New World marketing company that we're working with, who's done a great job for us in coming up with this brand and the logo, and it's just jumps out at you. So look forward to sharing more of that, Dougie, over the next few weeks and months.
Nice.
And Hawthorne, again, as I said, is going nicely, and we're just moving along. And so I think it's time now to bring on our special guest, if the green room is ready.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's finished enjoying the caviar and the yellow Skittles, as you said, or the orange colored Skittles, but I am honored to introduce to you Cindy Myer this morning. She's the president and CEO of a company called Ridgewood Moving Services, located up in Mahwah, New Jersey, but does business all over the state and has partners all over the country that she can, work with as well. And Cindy, are you ready for us?
Hi, I'm ready.
It's good morning. Good morning. I'm so happy to see you and connect with you. I know we've stayed in touch over the years and got to know each other's families a little bit. And it's just an honor. And I really thank you so much for spending some morning today on the Get Up with Garret podcast.
I'm excited to be here, and thank you for asking me to join you today on your
Gotcha.
fifth episode.
Yeah, we're still early here, but that's okay. You got to start somewhere. Rome wasn't built in a day.
No,
Right.
5 is my lucky number, so that was a good one for me to be on.
Perfect. So tell us a little bit about your business. Tell us about Ridgewood Moving Services. What do you focus on? What's your bread and butter? Everyone, of course, knows moving, but your business really offers a lot more services. So just give us a kind of overview of what it is that you focus on.
Oh, absolutely. So Ridgewood Moving was established in 1966 in Ridgewood, hence the name. It started out one truck, a couple of guys, and just about every strapping young man worked at Ridgewood Moving at some point. We're 55 years old now, and we've had 3 leaders. It started out in 1966. A man named Ken Hawkins started that business. He was actually originally from Wyckoff, and he ran the business for, as I said, about 20 years out of the Elks Club in Ridgewood. And really started out as a boutique operation and servicing the local community. In the 80s, my husband started working, Robert Myer, started working for the company. And in 1985, Rob and I were married. And then in 1987, we bought Ridgewood Moving. So hence the next leader, Robert Myer. And so when Robert took over the business, he wanted to grow it and took it out and leased the first warehouse so that we could provide storage for the local community. He was not affiliated with a van line like I am. So it was strictly a local moving company that added storage to the service line. And Robert ran the company for about 18 years. And as you know, in 2005, he passed away and I took over the business. And so now we have third leader, woman-owned business operating now in Mahwah, New Jersey. And I have been running it, you said 20 years, it's been 16.
Okay.
So
I'm close.
so I turned the business into a woman-owned moving company. Joined our Movers Association in the state right off the bat so that I could learn the industry. Affiliated ourselves with a van line for the first time. And I was part of ARPN van line, which is out of Rhode Island.
Sure.
And we did that for about 7 years. And then the past, 8 or so, I've been part of Beacon's van line, which is affiliated partner with Wheaton Worldwide. We're the 4th largest. So we provide residential, commercial, moving, local, long distance, relocations, full service storage, and a personal
do it all.
touch. Yes.
Do it all. So there's a lot to unpack there. Explain to the audience, what does it mean to be affiliated with a van line like Beacon's? just help us understand what that means to have kind of a larger reach.
Okay, so a van line is basically, if you picture like the mothership across the nation, and there are within our van line, there's probably about 490, close to 500 companies like myself, agents that provide service for people that are relocating on an interstate long distance level. So if you're a local mover, you're only allowed to move intrastate, which is within New Jersey. But if you're
so that's regulated?
Yes, we're regulated by the
Gotcha.
Division of Consumer Affairs. And by being a partner with a van line, it provides you the opportunity not only to network and help people, like, I was talking to you yesterday, and if your sister was moving from Colorado to Florida, I have an agent in Colorado that you can call me and I can say, yes, I have a good person for you. So we're able to provide resources, and also, throughout COVID, it's been a lot of mass exodus out of New Jersey. So to be affiliated with a van line is very important for consumers.
I think I've seen similar in the commercial real estate business, where you've got these larger conglomerate groups like a Chain Links, where there may be 50 brokers under them, and it's kind of one per state or one per market, and they share best practices and, of course, contacts, because there's different regulations and licenses. So are you able to tap into this reservation system? So if somebody were to go on to Beacons and say, hey, I need to find the best moving company in North Jersey that they can recommend you, that's somewhat works also?
Yes. So they have their own advertising and, say, Yellow Pages, and within the state we have certain amount of agents. So I call them, my brothers and sisters in the state that we partner with. So if you, Garret, if you were moving to
North Carolina, how about North Carolina? I have a lot of real estate there.
North Carolina, I have agents that I am going to have them haul for you, because I don't have the tractor trailers. I have the box trucks. So what we do is we service you all the way through. All the touch points are through us. The van line, it gets registered with the van line, but I've already picked and chosen who I want to haul you. And that's really how we operate. That's our personal touch within my own particular company.
So it's seamless. So we get, we get the experience and the relationship side from you, and then you kind of in the background are setting us up with a longer hauler. And so it's seamless to the customer. That's a great thing to offer. So thinking about moving out of state, I think you'd be a great resource to share. Where are a lot of people relocating to now from New Jersey? What have you seen in terms of that business? Where are these trucks going to, Cindy?
Sure. So first of all, New Jersey's been one of the number one outbound states in the country for many, many years. It's been something that I've talked about in different business groups or on the political side of, what are we doing to maintain, keep people here, right? But with what has gone on with COVID and the fact that people can work anywhere, you hit it right on the head. South Carolina, North Carolina, the Florida has really been such an inbound state for years, but every other move, I feel like I'm moving somebody to Naples or Palm Beach or somewhere like that. So we have very positive agents and experiences with our sister and brother agents that are in Florida, because we go back and forth and we do a lot of hauling down that East Coast lane. California, West Coast, those are outbound states as well. They're going to Wyoming and Nevada.
Really?
California's like kind of next to us in outbound. And then there's people like that are going to Vermont and they want more space. And so we've had so many conversations with people of why they're moving and the fact that they can work anywhere now in many cases. So why not be in the Poconos or something like that? Yeah.
So this is interesting, Doug. If you're thinking of investing in property, right?
Yeah.
You should be listening to Cindy and writing this down. I've got it here: South Carolina, North
Nice.
Carolina, which of course I knew, Florida,
Yeah.
and of course from the west side, West Coast, Wyoming, and Nevada,
Mhm.
leaving
And don't forget,
California.
Also Tennessee,
Yeah.
big one.
And Tennessee. Yeah, I mean, I was once in, I want to say this area, Franklin, Tennessee, and just the amount of construction and cranes, of course, in why am I blanking on the big city in Tennessee where all the music? Nashville. Yes, thank you. Just incredible. What was I never seen anything like it. It was like New York City with all this building, you know, in the good old days. So this is great advice for prospective investors. And if you're thinking about North Carolina, you should probably reach out to me, and I'd be happy to talk to you about what's going on. We've been investing in North Carolina since 2007.
Nice.
I think 2007, 2008. And our first project that we ever bought, we're going to hopefully start some type of redevelopment in the future, mixed use. And we just got the Chick-fil-A under construction there, and things are going great. So North Carolina, I can report, is gangbusters, right? The rents are going up. The apartments are always fully leased. The retail has great activity. So North Carolina is huge. And look, we're not going to get into politics of why certain states are better than others, but obviously there's a lot of things regarding cost of living, taxes, also being outside, like Cindy said, in some of these states like Vermont, where people just want more of a yard, more of an area for the kids to roam around. And if the price of real estate is, you know, $50 a foot or $100 a foot cost to build instead of 200, 300, 400, and the taxes are super low, and you can work from anywhere, I mean, it makes sense. So it's somewhat of a renaissance for some of these areas. I mean, I did not think people were moving to Vermont typically pre-COVID.
And it's not politics. Do better, New Jersey. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to look at this. Yeah. Go ahead.
Within New Jersey, the trend has been down the shore area.
Sure.
So we've seen a lot of people sell, because of this market, their primary home, which might have been in Bergen County, Morris, or whatever, and either purchase a home down the shore, or they use their secondary home, which is, you know, down in that, you know, one of the shore communities, as their primary, and then take advantage of the market. So we've seen a lot of that. And one of the other huge areas that we service is the senior and our older adult community.
Yeah, tell me about that.
Yes, and that's really important to us. It's a very big part of our business. We're doing so many moves right now in the Vista in Wyckoff. Every time I go visit a client, I say, "Oh my gosh, we're moving the nicest people into this community." So it's really, that's a lovely community. But you know, there are so many 55 and over communities that are you know, servicing and providing residence for our baby boomers. And, you know, I'm like you know, I'm close there. So we've got people that are my age, a little bit older, doing that, what we call a right size. You know, they're downsizing, but we call it a right size. Selling their home and going into something that, you know, is just easier at this point.
Absolutely. So let's go a little further with COVID. Everyone talks about COVID. Tell us about, you know, what have been, Cindy, some of the challenges that you've had over the last year and a half regarding supply chain, regarding labor, fuel, things like that are common in a lot of industries. Are you experiencing, or have you experienced some of those challenges, and how have you worked through them? Yeah,
COVID was horrible. As we all know, it was scary. When I was at a meeting with movers on the week of March 13th, which we kind of call D-Day. That Friday was kind of like, oh, but that Wednesday, I was with my colleagues, and we're just starting to hear, and almost joking with the like elbow bump type of thing, because it had not. And I tell you this because on Wednesday I was meeting with colleagues. On Friday, that's how fast everything happened.
You were not meeting with colleagues anymore.
I was having team meetings with my staff on what we are going to do about this crazy virus that's hitting. And I'm very visual. and I write on those big Post-it notes
Yes,
with my team.
I remember that. You have
And
the
I'm
big
like
board. Yep.
a teacher, and I'm actually looking at a Post-it note that I wrote with the team on Friday the 13th, and we're writing Ridgewood moving procedures, new normal, wash
Right.
hands. And one of the things is we're a huggy company. Like, we're very touchy, and after a move, people are so happy and they hug you. We're like, no hugging. There was, and we weren't handshaking when we were greeting a customer.
Right.
We were doing, we were setting standards.
Of course.
Within the next week, we were adding masks, gloves.
Right.
We were trying to get as much, all the sanitizing, cleaning equipment we could. And we really pulled through it in a number of ways. We pivoted to a virtual company, like what we're doing right now. I was doing with customers to provide estimates for. So I was FaceTiming. I was FaceTiming with my phone, going through rooms
room by room, right? With the house.
Yes.
Oh
so
my God. I mean, you had to do what you had to do.
we
right?
pivoted. Everybody worked remotely, which I never thought I would have a virtual and a remote company, a moving company.
Right. Of course.
And I came to the office every day, and my operations director came every day. And when we were deemed essential, we were so thankful that we were an essential business and we can operate, unlike your salons and places like that. But then when you're deemed essential, you're like, oh my gosh, we're essential. That means we have to go out in the world. And one of the scariest was sending crews into the city. When the city was just at its height of COVID cases and everything. I felt like I was sending my children into burning building. It was very, very difficult as a kind of mama bear to see that. But we were really mindful and we were really careful, and we stuck together. And I tell you, we learned so much through that period of time.
Yeah, I mean, you think about a moving crew. First of all, it's a tight group of 3 or 4, typically guys that are shoved into the front of the truck, right?
Yeah.
And they're going into someone's home, right? Touching their stuff. I mean, this is really, really challenging. How do you do that virtually? You don't on that part, of course. They've got to be extra careful. And I'm sure you had a lot of customers that really appreciated you taking the extra measures. And you probably had some that were anxious and nervous and Port Jervis about what was going to happen, right?
Yeah, it was really important to communicate and be very transparent with our customers and our team. And it was really, really important to pull your resources. For me, a lot of it was my own moving colleagues, as I'm very involved in our association in the state. It was also important to talk to my business colleagues. So I was on Zoom all day long, like so many of us, just getting information and what are you doing and best practices.
Right.
We were staggering crews so that we didn't have 20 guys, 25 guys in the warehouse at one time, because God forbid one crew, one member did get COVID. Well, at least we could still operate because the other teams weren't with them.
We're separate, right?
Doing whatever we could. Luckily, knock on wood, we all got through unscathed. And I think that I give so much credit to my team for being as mindful as they were. And our customers. The customers were awesome during that period.
I can speak from experience here, Dougie. Her team is the best.
Nice.
They have moved me from a townhouse to actually to Cindy's house. I actually bought Cindy's house.
Wow.
Probably, I don't know, 12, 15, 13 years. I don't know,
Yeah,
12 years ago, maybe.
13 years now, Garret.
I mean, we'll talk about that a little more. But and I think you've moved either my parents or my sister.
Both.
Right?
I've moved your whole family. We thank you for the business.
like I always say to people when they come into my salon, my kids need ballet lessons too. So you're welcome. And but honestly, and I would always say this to anybody, even if you weren't a guest on episode 5 of the Get Up with Garret podcast, your company was amazing. Your team, your leader was amazing. Your whole team were just awesome. They killed it. They crushed it. The pricing was fair. It was transparent. And I think that's so important. I take that a lot to heart when you say that to me, transparency, because that's what this is all about, being authentic, being transparent. people want to do business with people that are authentic and transparent. My dad used to always say, people want to do business with people that they're friends with. Well, yes and no. Sometimes it's a little sketchy doing business with friends. And you don't want to necessarily go in and partner with every friend you have. That can be dangerous. But the idea that you want to do business with people that make you feel good, that you like, that you cheer for them, right? And by being authentic, by being transparent, by being human, I think that comes across. And I think that's kind of the future of business. Whereas maybe the last 20, 30, 40 years, things were a lot more private, were hidden, were not talked about. And so I think both of our companies are on the right trail, being a little more open and transparent. I think that's really critical.
Yeah.
Cindy, what's going on with that truck? Tell me about the infrastructure. I know you're having trouble getting a truck. I mean, so give me a little bit more on COVID constraints, supply chain constraints.
Well, inflation's here. So I've seen my my materials and my expenses go up 20 and 30%. So my materials, as far as cardboard, the boxes and materials that we use to operate, have gone up tremendously. The supply and demand, it is very difficult to purchase a truck right now. And I think I told you we purchased one in April and only going into production in October.
So maybe January you'll get it, or
in New York. So
in New York, right?
Yeah. So hopefully by the end of the year. So yes, what's gone on with the country and what you hear with supply, the chips for cars, and the things that lumber has gone up so much, and
oh yes,
there's so many, that. So there's been a lot of expenses that entrepreneurs, business owners are feeling. COVID, I had to put another line in my P&L for COVID expenses.
Right, extra PP&E and
all the masks and all the stuff. We still have all that, and we're still doing it. But that is a new line. So
gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, it's real. But then our business has been very strong. We talked about that yesterday.
Yeah, let's talk about that. But business, thankfully, knock on wood, is up. What'd you say, about 20%?
Yes, we're up about 20%. And then if you remember, we're up against COVID year from last year.
Sure.
So, the first quarter of last year, right before D-Day, we were probably flat. Business was okay. And then, when March hit, April, very sluggish and very soft and scary time. And thankfully the PPP, which I jumped on right away and received, that was a lifeline for us and for so many. And that really helped us, give us the confidence, give our team the confidence. They were thankful that they were coming in and having work every day. And we came out, and now I would say from last June, July, things started ticking up when the real estate market really started getting into a stride, and people were what happened with the housing market. It just went crazy. And then people are selling their homes, getting 20 and 30% over. And we have not missed a beat since that moment. We've been very steady, strong, along with my colleagues. We're all doing very well right now because the market is, indicative of what's happening.
Well, how do your numbers compare to like 2019 or 2018?
Actually, we're still, we would be ahead.
You're still ahead. So
yes, we're.
That's awesome.
We came back. We've always been pretty steady, unless you're talking about recession years or whatever. And we do have a diversified service line where we do designer receiving and inventory management for many designers. We do commercial moving. The senior, I told you, the older adults.
Senior,
so we do have a nice repertoire of services.
Well, it's a nice business because you've got margin on the labor, on the moving, which is sometimes under pressure with fuel costs and labor costs, but you also have good margin on the materials, the boxes, the tape, all those ancillary services and fees. And then, of course, I know you have about 15,000 square feet of storage at the Mawa facility.
Yeah,
So
we
that's
do.
another line of revenue for you. I am learning about self-storage, and it's something that I hope to share with the audience because it's something that's new for the family. We are developing our first self-storage building. It's on site, Dougie and Hawthorne with the Hedges project.
Congratulations.
And it's, thank you. It's 120,000 square feet. So it's a 4-story building, 30,000 footprint. And one of the things that we added that we thought was really interesting, and I'm curious your opinion, Cindy, we did garages all around the bottom. We thought that the residents that live at the Hedges could need an extra car or something to store golf clubs, motorcycles, bicycles, something larger that they didn't want to store or couldn't store in the apartment or on the second floor of a storage unit. But we also thought it could be good for small contractors that have extra tools and equipment or truck. I'm just curious your opinion on that from the moving company world too.
Absolutely. Very smart. Very, very
I think
smart.
that makes sense.
There's many small businesses that need a little bit of storage. They don't need to rent, lease a whole, 15,000 square feet. I have been approached by different, whether it's a pool company or whatever, in the past. So I think that's a fabulous idea. It gives, yes, storage is not going away. People have,
People have a lot of stuff,
Okay, yeah.
right? People have a lot of stuff.
and,
Hoarders are emerging every day.
The hoarders,
It is.
that
And I
hoarder
would tell you
show.
that's great synergy for me, Garrett, because
I
as
appreciate
I
it.
told you yesterday, many times this summer, we need a bigger boat.
Yep.
We can't provide the storage for our customers, so we're aligning ourselves with self-storage places. And so I'm excited that your
Absolutely.
place is being
Would love
built.
to work
Yeah,
with
we can
you.
work together.
So ours is going to be managed. We're going to own it. So it's going to sit on the family P&L. We are going to own it, but we have a professional management company and reservation system, national billion-dollar company called CubeSmart. There's probably 3 or 4 really, really big companies that are public. And then, of course, there's a lot of other brands, local brands, great regional brands. So we've gone with CubeSmart, and we're excited about that new partnership with our family and them. And absolutely, if you have customers, Cindy, that need extra storage or are in transition, or companies, we would love to work with you. You know that we'll always do everything we can to help. I think we have who's that? Sam Myer saying good morning from Los Angeles. Is that the lovely Sam Myer, Cindy's daughter?
Yes.
So funny story. Cindy has 2 beautiful daughters, Sam and Melissa, super, super talented in design, in business, in entrepreneurship, in a million things. And one day, Juliet's outside walking the dog, and I see she comes and says, "Daddy, there's 2 strangers outside." Immediately, I knew exactly who it was from far away without my glasses on. And I knew that one day Sam and Melissa would ring my doorbell and say, we'd like to see the house, because my sister did the same thing to the people who, bought our old family home. And let me tell you, Cindy, as successful as you are and incredibly involved in your community, obviously your greatest gift and joy in life is, besides your mom, Nana, these 2 beautiful girls, Sam and Melissa. I mean, I watch them on Facebook, but just getting to spend time with them, only a half hour, they just blew my mind. And if Juliet and Harper can look up to them and grow up and live in the same rooms that they lived in, with the exception of that crazy door that, I don't know, somebody graffitied that door. Do you remember that?
I know. I have it in my warehouse, actually.
You have it. I just so lovely to meet your daughters, by the way. So thank you, Sam and Melissa, for supporting us and supporting your mom all these years, of course.
Well, I've got 2 entrepreneurial daughters. They're both independent women. One is Samantha runs Samantha Myer LLC, and that's she's selling her own designs on there and products. And then Melissa is being a life coach. So she's taking courses right now and currently has clients on life coaching, and she's going to have her own business. So it's very exciting to see your daughters turn into the, independent and entrepreneurial spirit that mom has. So.
Absolutely. And I know that you and I both are huge supporters of women-owned businesses, and I know that's so important to you and some of the different associations that you've joined. And I know you're the president of one of the organizations. Can you talk a little bit about kind of the culture of giving at Ridgewood Moving Services, because I think this is a big part of what makes your team special, and talk about kind of your special sauce and how you care about your customers and how that's different than others.
Thanks for bringing that up. Actually, I truly believe in creating a culture of giving within your organization is not only good for your soul, but it's good business. And when you're a business that is involved in the community, it is important to give back. So we've always been since I've taken over, I had to find what I was going to enjoy in running a moving company, to be honest with you. You know, I have a fashion background, and I'm taking over this business in moving, and I had to find something that I was going to align with. And what I realized early on is we've got a very important job at hand in moving people's lives. Moving is the third most stressful event that occurs in someone's life: death, divorce, moving. And sometimes moving is because of one of those. And obviously I can relate to that. And I think that's where the authenticity comes in is, you know, I've lived through some tragedies, and I can get it. And so being empathetic with our customers during a time that they are stressed is something that's very important to our culture. So by providing resources, and believe me, I have the most amazing team that lives the culture and drinks the same Kool-Aid. We have a we care philosophy, and we care about our customers, our company, our community, and each other. And we hire and we fire on that. So you need to surround yourself with the people that are going to believe in what you believe. And we do believe that providing a resource makes such a difference, and being there for the customers all the way through. And believe me, even after, I'm so friendly with so many people that I've moved. And
Absolutely.
we, get really nice feedback, which means a lot to us. We also actually have a gotcha board, and we every time a comment comes in and names one of our teammates, we put it on our board, and then we do MVP and superhero awards every month.
That's awesome.
We recognize our successes, and then we also acknowledge if we fall short. We have team meetings every other week. We have movers meeting every month, and we have a mover liaison within our team meeting, so that we are all knowing the roles and hearing from each other within the company. So
I'm gonna throw you a curveball off of that. Then we do this thing on the podcast called the reverse resume, where a Navy SEAL friend of mine, John Choate, introduced me to this concept where he said everybody puts down their resume, all the amazing things they're great at, their accomplishments when they're applying for the job. But what's really important is to know where'd you screw up and how'd you fix it. So I'm going to put you on the spot. Can you give me a situation, Cindy, where something went wrong, or maybe it was a new strategy you tried, or you bought an electric truck and it failed the first day? Something from your course of business where you went for it and you totally fell on your face, and how did you fix it?
Totally fell on my face. Well, I think that if we take risks, no matter what we do, we need to take risks and try it. Where did I fall on my face? I would say probably in the advertising side of things, where spending a lot of money for advertising in an area that I'm not getting any return on my investment, because at the end of the day, our best advertisement is our customers that we serve.
Sure. Referrals, sure.
And so I think I've learned over the years that providing a newsletter, sending it out to my customers, being educational to them, and just staying in my lane is what you need to do. And going outside and stay away from the shiny objects. And I
Okay.
think we've all been guilty of shiny object, distraction. And then it's like, "Ooh, we
Absolutely.
got to pivot back." So
I think Dougie, you can probably relate. With the advertising background and media
100%.
background, somebody going, not staying in their
Yes.
lane.
Yes. So in my industry, there's a lot of shiny objects, and there's a lot of people who think they know this space and they try to sell you on a shiny object. But don't worry, Cindy, you're a new friend, and we'll definitely, take care of you. We'll help you out. We'll definitely help you out, and we'll chat more about it. But yeah, I
Thanks.
mean, the secrets. I'll give you the free secrets right now, guys.
One free secret,
One
please,
free
for the
secret.
audience.
People, like you said before, like your father said, people do business with their friends. What I think he really meant is people do business with people who are like them, who have
Yes.
the same mission as them. Like put a mirror up. That's the person that they want to do business with, right? Great TED talk called Start With Why. People buy why you do what you do. They don't buy what you do. Everyone, I have an Apple laptop, Apple phone, Apple watch, Apple headphones, buy everything from Apple because I buy their mission. If you said to me, hey, you want to buy this MP3 player from Dell?
No,
This
thank you.
feels weird. I don't want a music device from a computer company. But I don't want to go on a tangent, but I'll
I
help you out,
agree.
Cindy.
I
Don't worry.
agree. I think in our line of work, we're moving consultants, and we want to be consultants, not sales. And I
Yes.
think that if you approach, like Doug said, on how we make people feel and relatable, and provide guidance, and I give my cell phone. All our business cards have our cell phones, so any customer can text or call me. They know that. So and I answer. I'm much more responsive to a text than I am on
Of course.
email, because that's like quicksand. But
I know. Email's getting slow. Email to
Yes.
me is turning into the U.S. Postal Service. If you need me right now, just a quick text will
Yes.
do. So, Cindy, I know you were the first women president of the state of New Jersey, the NJWA. Is that what it's called?
yeah, so we have a movers association in the state.
Okay.
It's called
Yep.
the New Jersey Warehouse. It used to be Warehouseman Movers Association. Now it's
Right.
New Jersey Warehouse Movers Association.
Gotcha.
And I'm proud to be the first woman that broke the glass ceiling in
Incredible.
that association. And I think we have one coming down the pike. Will be the second woman.
That's
But it's a great association. These are some of my closest colleagues. They've been so supportive. It is a male-dominated industry. I will tell you that I've felt nothing but 100% support from my
That's
colleagues.
incredible.
And I am able to call, cry, do whatever I need to do with the relationships that I have built over the 16 years. This association is important. There are less than there's about 300, let's say there's 300 movers in the state of New Jersey. Now,
Sure.
a mover needs to be licensed and
Okay.
insured, and we're regulated by the Division of Consumer Affairs. There's probably half of those movers are in the association, which I feel if you're, a moving company or any professional, you should be involved in your
Right. Your
industry.
association, whatever you're in, right? Your industry.
So I look at that as we're the elite group, right? So half of that.
Gotcha. Half of
There's
that.
probably 400, 500, 600 illegal operators that operate
Sure.
in the state of New Jersey that slap a
Of course.
name, Garret Mover, and call themselves a mover.
Not a true company.
Whoa, you
folks.
started a company, bro?
I'm too
No,
busy. I'm too busy.
I'm teasing, but we
I know,
have
I know.
run
Of course.
sting operations, and
Yes. Tons of them.
so the association is not only there to provide support for moving owners. It's also consumer awareness is a big part of
Right.
it, and lobbying.
Legitimizes everything. Yeah. Of
And lobbying for bills, which we did and were successful.
course.
So we actually have a rogue operator bill that was passed, and if there was XYZ name on a street and that's not a legitimate moving company, you could actually call the police and have them stop operating. So Yeah.
Cindy, real quick, there's a great analogy I use because I encounter this all the time, and I'm sure you do as well. In my industry, I'll meet with clients and stuff, and I talk to this person, this shiny object, this, that, and the other thing. A lot of people can pick up a scalpel and say they're a doctor in our industry. So that's the separation. Like in our industry, in my industry, I'm sure in your industry, a lot of people are just picking up a scalpel and saying they're a doctor. But you are part of these associations. You have credibility. You do things the right way, and that's what separates you. So I know that happens in my industry all the time. The people saying they do this, they do that. Yeah. It's a shame because it's not like regulated as much, and I'm sure it's more regulations for you. But I always say a lot of people could pick up a scalpel and just say they're a doctor.
True. And when back in the day when we were in-person networking, sometimes felt like a bartender because I would have all these people surrounding me and telling me their horrible moving stories.
Right.
So, a lot of people have them, and a lot of the stories are coming from. Maybe they did business with a broker
Gotcha.
or a company that wasn't legit. So it's my job and many in our industry to provide awareness and educate the consumer so that they're making a good decision. And I have a lot of information on that. So it's important. But thanks for bringing up the association. I've been involved in that since day one. I'm in Commerce and Industry of New Jersey. I'm on the board of directors. So that's a business group. Mawa Regional Chamber. I've been involved in that since I moved up here to Mawa. It's very involved in that. They've been very, very good to me and supportive.
Cindy, what about have you done any like business coaching or because I know consulting is important to you and that you kind of view your clients that you're a consultant to them. But I mean, when your husband passed, for you to jump into this business, I mean, you were not, just to be clear, and I don't know if I'm right here, but you were not involved in the day-to-day business prior?
No,
right?
I wasn't. I was actually a stay-at-home mom.
Okay. So for you, I mean, that I don't want to jump over that. And as long as you feel comfortable, like, wow, that is a huge thing to come from stay-at-home mom to running a business, traditionally full of tons of men, lots of moving parts, right? Lots of complexities, insurance, labor, just lots of issues. I mean, did you take a deep breath? Like, how did you get through that transition? Who helped you through that? And what advice would you have for someone who unfortunately goes through something like that in their life, such a tragedy?
Yeah. Well, I credit I credit my involvement with when my girls were growing up and the involvement in PTO and Junior Women's Club and all the things I was involved in for the years prior as building blocks and a really great solid foundation for me, because that's all about teamwork, leadership, community, how to work together, not necessarily operating a business per se, but it gave me a lot of equipment to hold on to when I took over the business. I'll tell you, Garrett, the first couple of years were very, very hard. I was held hostage basically by people that had worked for the company prior to me. I was trying to learn the day-to-day and learn the industry. I didn't really have resources. I didn't have business associates. I had PTO friends and people that I knew from Montvale and growing up in Ridgewood. So it was one of the first things I did was join the Mawa Regional Chamber of Commerce and start developing business resources and contacts, and that was huge. And people are very supportive. So fast forward now, I'm giving back in the way I can and what I learned, and I've taken many courses. I've taken a tuck course. I've gone away for weeks taking business courses. I have a CFO that it's like financial therapy. I have aligned myself with good people. I have aligned myself with smarter people. I have done the best I can, but I really do feel pride in the people that I've brought on my team that have the same vision. I have all women in my office. I have a woman operations director. She's fantastic. Move coordinator who's been with me for years, Christina and Denise. They run operations. That is something I do not want to do. So you hire people that are going to do that, because that's not what's going to be good
Not
for
your
me.
strength, right? And what you enjoy.
My strength was business development and leadership and guiding the ship. And so I have a great team, but it really is get the right people on the bus. And you were
Or the
talking
truck.
about this is my mantra. You were talking about this
Same.
earlier.
Never, never, never give up. There it is.
And
I love it. Never give up.
there was a lot of pits and places
Yeah.
where I fell a weeble wobble. You fall down, you get back up, you brush yourself off, and you
Absolutely. You just keep going. And I'm sure that younger people coming up in this industry appreciate how much you give back. And I think that's probably, Dougie, kind of the secret sauce alert, where it's Cindy is really empathetic to her customers. She went through a tragedy, which was extremely challenging, obviously, on the family. She had to pick herself up, jump into this, take this business over, again, an industry that was totally male dominated. There wasn't that many women resources available and organizations probably at that age in the moving industry. She went and joined all these things. She got the coaching, she got the support. And that empathy and sympathy really translate in how she speaks to her customers, because in her words, we're not moving like stuff. This is, we're moving people in their life. And she talked about death, divorce, moving. So she understands how stressful it is to go through the move. She's done it herself, of course, leaving her house, which is now my house.
You're welcome.
So and thank you. It is the most amazing. You did tell me it's the best house in town, and people still tell me. I hung out with with the girls, with the family. We were always over there hanging out. I mean, now, funny story, true or false, your husband had a urinal put into the bathroom in the basement.
Yes, that was true. That was the one thing he said, you could do the whole basement over. All I want is a urinal in the bathroom.
I think he was a big football fan too, because I think you may have had like DirecTV and regular Verizon or whatever down there.
We had he was a big sports fan, and it was, we had 3 TVs. So he would have, football and basketball, whatever. He'd have all different sports on. And the funny story is, one time I went downstairs and the girls are down there, and they have all 3 TVs on with like the Care Bears, Mickey Mouse Club and the whatever,
My Little Pony. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. So, Cindy, we're going to wrap up with the lightning round, which is a series of 4 or 5 kind of fun, light, quick questions. Don't overthink it too much, but you'll give me the kind of the first answers that pop out of your head. Okay.
Sure.
Dougie, are you ready with the timer?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Ready? Go.
Here we go. Cindy, what's a business book that you would recommend to somebody up and coming?
Oh, Rockefeller Habits.
You got it right there, Rockefeller. Perfect. Rockefeller Habits. Love it. Okay, so you may have seen on my Instagram, I do photograph a lot of vanity plates. So if you were forced to have a vanity plate on your car, what would you put on your license plate?
Probably Superwoman.
Superwoman. Awesome. A lot of news about tourists going to space. I don't know if you're going to have a moving truck that goes to space one day, but who would you trust to take you to space more? Bezos, Musk, or Richard Branson?
Oh, boy. Bezos.
First concert, best concert.
Liza Messina, Poco was the first concert. Doobie Brothers, Santana, best concert.
Nice. That's a Ted Lasso throw in, Jen, in case you didn't pick that up, Jen. And then what's a goal that you'd like me to remind you of a year from now?
To write my book.
That's a good one. All right, Dougie.
Nice.
She did incredible.
Done. Yeah.
Cindy, this was so much fun. I've gotten to know you a little bit on a personal level, but also business professional level. Just such a big fan. I always recommend everyone to use Ridgewood Moving. since I actually did use Ridgewood Moving, and the family has supported you. And just want to thank you again for your time and how busy you are, and for all the things you do in the community and giving back. It's been so much fun to spend this hour with you.
It really has, Garret and Doug, and thank you. And Garret, I told you this yesterday, but you are a big champion of women, and I have noticed that over the years. And talk about someone that met just through a home purchase 14 years ago, but have developed a friendship because we're like-minded. And so I thank you for all your support of treating, your tenants as friends and customers, and
Yep.
And championing them and supporting them and promoting them. That's awesome. Keep up
I
the great
appreciate
work.
that. Thank you. We do say we treat our tenants like our customers is kind of the line, but I think the bigger picture is we are a partner in success with all of our tenants. And it doesn't mean that we necessarily get a piece of their business. What it means is that we're all on the same team. The better they do, the better we do. It doesn't help us if our tenants open and fail.
Mm-hmm.
It helps us if they open and are prosperous and make a lot of money. They
Okay.
tell all their friends how much they enjoy being in our centers or our salons. So we take that very seriously. We are partners in the success. And I want everyone to remember that as they move on in any type of business. So Cindy, we'll certainly get together soon. I have to have you over with the finished product. I'm almost done with lots of little projects in the house. And I can't wait to show you everything that we've done and try to honor your family's tradition. And thanks again for supporting the podcast, and hope to see you soon.
Yeah, it was awesome. And I look forward to seeing the new digs.
You got it. All right.
Take
Thanks,
care,
Cindy.
guys.
Thanks, Cindy.
Thank you. So, Dougie, I appreciate everybody staying on to the end of the podcast.
Absolutely.
I
Great
like to-
guest. Nice job.
Cindy's
Cindy's awesome.
fantastic. Fantastic. I told you we have a stable of incredible entrepreneurs that we've
Yeah.
met over the years that are open and are transparent and are authentic.
Mhm.
And I mean, you and her had a lot of similarities in terms of people wanting to do business with people that are like
Yeah.
them. But now that some of our friends have stayed on to the end of the podcast, I want to reward them with some good stuff. I think I want to recap a little bit of NFL if we can.
Absolutely.
So we had made our week 1 picks.
Yes.
Again, we did skip week 2 for the Jewish holiday. The
Yes.
Giants did play that night.
Yeah.
I
If we picked them, you would have won the spread.
I guess
Even though they lost the game, we won
Yeah.
the spread.
and I did win. I did bet on Danny Jones scoring a touchdown
Nice.
and the Giants covering, and that did win. So I guess if I was a professional football player, I'd have to skip for Yom Kippur. That's what it means. So to recap, I did not get the Bucks. I picked the Bucks giving 8.5
Mm-hmm.
against the Cowboys. That did not happen. They won the game, the Bucks, but Dak Prescott looked way better than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
But we did win San Francisco, giving 7.5 to Detroit. That was scary because they were
Yeah.
up 20,
Yeah.
and Detroit came back, kind of garbage time, and San Francisco ended up only winning by 8.
Mm-hmm.
So we did cover there. And then Miami +3 actually won the game outright against New England. So of those 3, I got 2 out of 3. I
Yeah.
think you got
None of them.
0. Okay,
I don't remember.
You got
It was-
0 out of 0.
I blocked it out because
Okay.
it was so horrifying.
So we'll say 1-0
Yeah,
Garrett.
you can win. This
Okay,
one.
1-0 Garrett. So let's talk about week 2. The Chiefs lost Sunday night against the Ravens, and the Chiefs have had their number for a long time. But I think the Chiefs are going to come back in a big way this weekend.
Mhm.
They are playing the Chargers, the LA, I think it's called the LA Chargers now,
Mhm.
in that beautiful new stadium. And the Chiefs are giving 6.5. So I think the Chiefs are going to run this score up, and I think it certainly will be more than a touchdown. So I'm gonna take the Chiefs.
I mean, yeah, they had a little bit of a scare against the Ravens, so it's like in Rocky when he finally gets the blood, he's like, he's human.
Yeah, they're human.
They're human. So, 6.5 points. You said
Yeah, they're giving 6.5.
to LA. Yeah, the Chiefs are gonna get that.
Yeah.
And they're gonna be pissed from last week, so they're gonna get more than 6 points.
I think I pulled these lines maybe yesterday,
Mhm.
looking at some Yahoo
See
Fantasy
here.
stuff. So
Yeah.
if there is a teeny bit off from, I'm just trying to look from, they may be a little bit off from FanDuel,
They're all
but I'm just trying to
relatively
use
close.
consistent with what I had.
Yeah.
All right, so we're both going to go with the Chiefs.
Yes. Yeah. 6.5.
Okay. The next game, I think we've got the Steelers giving 3.5 to the Cincinnati Bengals.
Steelers, Bengals. Oh, the Steelers are winning that.
Yeah.
6.5 points?
No, sorry, 3.5.
3.5. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, here it is.
Oh,
I found it now. Steelers, Bengals. It's in Pittsburgh, 3.5 points. I like the Steelers. Dougie, who do you like?
I like the Steelers too.
Yep. Okay.
That's an easy one.
Now, I'm giving you a cue up on your video.
Yes.
I want to talk a little bit about my New York Giants.
I'm trying to get this video back on for
Okay.
you. Hold on.
No problem.
But go ahead. You can.
And
You
thanks
can
for the
pre-story.
blue and red background that
Absolutely.
Juliet requested.
Absolutely.
So a lot of people have fallen off the Giants bandwagon. They're worried. The Giants don't look good. They're 0-2. Danny Jones isn't good.
Mhm.
And I'm sick of hearing it. Like, you're either a fan and you bleed blue or you're
Mhm.
not. I'm telling you, the Giants have brought me a Super Bowl victory on average once every 10 years.
Mhm.
Okay, now we just are celebrating the 10-year anniversary of the
Wow.
Super Bowl.
Are we putting Danny Jones, Eli in the rafters or something? Isn't
Yes,
that happening?
I'll
like
be
this
there
weekend?
Sunday. We have the retirement game.
Nice.
So let me tell you, you have nothing to worry about. I don't think this is the year,
Mhm.
but I see Danny Jones is the future here. And I think if you remember that Ace Ventura movie, Finkel is Einhorn, Einhorn is Finkel. Manning is Jones, Jones is Manning.
Yeah, they're
He
very similar.
has trained in that kind of coaching structure of the Manning family,
Mhm.
but he has legs like Seabiscuit.
Yeah.
And if you saw him run, I mean, he
Yeah.
had the second touchdown was called back by a stupid holding penalty.
Mhm.
He would have had 2 rushing
Yeah.
touchdowns. Danny Dimes, I know this may be
Danny Dimes.
controversial, is playing right now kind of at the top 10 of quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And I want Giants fans to understand this squad is going somewhere. It
Mhm.
may be next year,
Mhm.
but this squad is going somewhere, and he's playing awesome.
Yeah.
And if you look back at the Washington game, there were a number of reasons that they
Mhm.
lost the game. Obviously, the end kick, but
Mhm.
a lot of others that had nothing to do with Danny Jones.
Mhm.
And the offensive line, which people have been so critical on, Dougie, held up against Washington,
Mhm.
who has the best front four pretty much in football. So I am picking the Giants, giving 3 to the Falcons. It's
Mhm.
the Giants Eli Manning retirement game at
Yep.
MetLife.
Mhm.
So I'm going to take the Giants, and I think this could be the start of some good things for this season. But I just want to be clear: the Giants are going somewhere, and it may
Yeah.
not be this year, but it's going to start next year if it's not.
And what we don't want to happen, which is it's happening for the last like 5 years in the NFL, is there's a problem and we're quick to get rid of our quarterback. And you saw that happen with the Jets. The Jets got rid of Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold was a number 3 pick. Zach Wilson was a number 2 pick. Sam Darnold actually played better teams in college. Zach Wilson went to BYU, not as good as competition. So, and we're seeing the same issues. It's not always the quarterback. You got to surround him with talent. You
Yeah.
can't just, everyone just wants to like, all right, trade the quarterback. Let's get a new quarterback and think the whole season's going to be saved. No, you got to surround him. You got to get him a good line. It's crazy. So you definitely got to stick with Danny Dimes for at least another year or two and develop people around him.
So are you going to be with me on this one? Are you
Absolutely.
Gonna,
Yeah.
okay. So
Yeah.
we're together.
And the fact that they planned this game against the Falcons for Eli's retirement jersey
Yep.
thing, they're not going to do that on a team that they think they're going to lose against.
And the Falcons have looked horrible. Okay.
Yeah.
Julio Jones is not there anymore. Matt Ryan has taken a step back. This is not the old Falcons
Mhm.
that we remember. And the Giants destroyed the Falcons. I think it was 10 years ago in the first game of the playoffs in MetLife,
Mhm.
by the way. That was like a huge MetLife win.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure the Falcons maybe only scored 2 points the entire game.
Mhm.
It was just destruction. So I'm feeling the good karma and the vibes. It's Eli Manning bobblehead night too.
Wow.
Yep. So we'll
I
see
might
if I
have to
get there
go.
early enough.
I might have to go then.
We-
I
we'll
might have
be-
to get
we'll
some
be
tickets. If I'm getting
tailgating.
an Eli bobblehead.
I've got some friends coming. We'll be tailgating.
Nice.
Some sandwiches. So anyway, that's it. I'm excited for the NFL this weekend. Obviously for the Giants. I mean, look, the Chiefs and the Bucks. This is looking like these two are having a crash course from the first couple games.
Yeah.
They look unstoppable. These teams.
Mhm.
So I would not be surprised at all if we're. I think the game's in LA at SoFi Stadium. If we're going to have a rematch of the Chiefs and Bucks,
Mhm.
Tom Brady is drinking that fountain of youth, like I said.
Oh, yeah.
And for all the Tom Brady haters out there, don't hate on greatness. Okay. I lived through Michael Jordan and I'm living through Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Don't hate on greatness. So, Dougie, I appreciate everything.
Absolutely.
Doing a great job at the studio here at
Thank
Undefeated
you.
Media.
Thank you.
And looking forward to seeing you next week on Thursday at 10 o'clock on episode 6 of
Yes.
Get Up with Garret.
Yes. And great job, great guess. You're on fire.
In Fuego,
And Fuego.
as our friend Jeff would say.
See. Very good. So we'll see you next time.
You got it.
All right.
Take care, everybody.